in our animation, I mean the Liisa Limone or the way to Nirvana, we're using usually the puppets or different kind of objects or humans as a pixelation. So it is always nice to have some real material that because in our studio and I also myself, we believe in that everything has behind it a human being. And I think it is for animators it's a huge privilege to put soul into the things what are looking at first that they are like without a life. And of course the women they have the privilege, you know, to give the real birth, real child, real life. And for us maybe it's just like 3 seconds to be part of it. But I think that also for us it's important to give kind of life. And it's not just like very egoistical way to give a life and to be happy at the end of your own life. But I have the feeling that also society needs the feeling that humans are more than just like working tools. That they have soul, they have mind, and somehow they should share in society in this level also. And I think that it has already a long tradition of magic, and animation is part of it. For Liisa Limone, we had at first got a bunch of ideas. And then we had found it, the ideas were written by comics maker, Kati Kovac, who is a Finn but lives in Italy. And this connection is also very important because it has also direct connection to the topic from the life about the immigration, social critical point, and we had written the script. But what was important for us, it is not just documentary or feature film. It should be animation, and it has a tool for to explain the world through the allegories. And we had chosen for allegory lemons, oranges, and tomatoes. And there is a seashell also what is outside of this fruit stuff. And this allegory needs to be explained somehow, and for that I think the puppets are the best one. So we had at first, because it is an opera, we had written the songs. Ülo Grigol is a composer and he has written the songs. We had at first singing, and then we had to build up the puppet sets, but most important was before it the storyboard, because storyboard is like for architects the plan. The film actually on the storyboard is ready. This is very important because everybody in your team, it's not lonely process to make animation. In our studio it is already 57 years of teamwork in Nuku Film, and everybody should be involved into the process and give his side to it. But we have to know that we're doing everybody the same story, because it takes like 3 years time. And if something happens in your personal life, or your mood is changing, or your person is changing, you know, you still keep the same mood as you had started like 3 years ago, because there is not so many improvisation possibilities. You got every day only 5 seconds of animation, so you must be very well prepared before you go into shoot. In our case, it was not so always. We had to figure out during the process to find the new solutions. For example, for sea, when you will see some experts of our film, that the sea was actually the last minute solution, but it was the best solution what can we have. So there is always question of the happiness or happy moments. Even maybe you are in darkness, total darkness, and you don't know what to do else forward. There you will got the candlelight into it. So in animation to say the candlelight is quite weird, of course. But it fits to the topic. Film is light, of course. And that's why I think the puppet animation has also the special viewpoint that it's really real material. And CGI is much more like imaginary world. And as we are happy about our own life and to be human with the real body and with the real needs, so it's nice to use also the puppet animation. And I don't know how in Turkey are the children playing with the puppets, but actually they are the first guides for you to go into the world, to the real life. This way that everybody has motivation. But of course there are a bunch of the technical stuff. Be secure before shooting, but always something happens during the process, and certain moment you can hear from the producer that he's saying, "Oh guys, you are very good guys, but I let you know that the money is away, time is away. But we have still run let's say we have still run like 32 kilometers with the speed of 100 meters, you know. So keep the speed and be brave, you know. And these moments are also very hard, but in the same time, if you are a very poor man or you are hungry, then the best solutions are coming out from these situations. Because you have to figure out something what helps you really out from the hard moment. And of course, the team is helping, that you are not only the person. If you have the wake moments, then the other guy can help you come out from this situation and go further with the project. This, I think, it is the basic difficulties, but of course, sometimes for the puppet makers it is hard. The condition of the humidity in the air can be sometimes very big problem, because the latex foam for the head of the puppets needs special humidity in air, and if it's wrong, then he doesn't got his head. Is that right, Maroc? You see? Very good question. I had made this film 14 years ago. It's already like 2 times 7 years ago, exactly. And for me, it was a very special film. As we had before talked about, the women are giving the birth to the real life. So maybe it's okay. It's too intimate level, but letting go. But for me, it was also a question of the. Again, about the freedom. One hand the freedom, and also one hand the question of the what is the behind the horizon. And it's very philosophical question, and it's very intuitive question. And again, animation is very good for the metaphors. For example, if you listening to Sufi songs or Sufi's literature reading, there is nothing, from my viewpoint, there is nothing to saying so obvious or direct way that if you're talking or you're reading it, they somehow it's very strange that they are concentrating you very well, very precisely, but in the same time they leave you total freedom. One hand you are in darkness, but in the same time it's totally light. It's kind of paradox, and it's very hard to talk about it, using the words not to be for others like you are a crazy man or you are out of the control. So the animation is kind of the world where you can explain the world through the imagination. And it can be very intimate and very, imaginary. And And I made this film because I can't explain the topic of this film with the words. And I hope when the viewers are looking at these films, it opens them something, and at the same time it glows something. And maybe they are in darkness, but in the same time very bright. I hope. And that's based on this hope we made this film.